skin is glowing, my energy is flowing, confidence growing, glow up is loading. When I look in the mirror, I see everything I want and everything I can ever need. I attract success.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nicki, also known as Cute as Button, and I'm so happy that you can join me here. Alright, so today I decided that I'm going to do a healing vlog series. Alright, so you guys know that my channel is all about fashion. It's also about, you know, me really coming into myself after my divorce, finding myself after divorce. So I decided to share with you guys what that looks like. How did we get here? All right. I love you all for subscribing. I love you all for just taking time to watch my videos, liking them, sharing them, and yeah, just thank you. So let's get into it. All right, so let's start with I'm currently here in Atlanta, right? So I've been here since the end of 2019. I got to Atlanta the end of 2019. So let's say August. So August of 2019. Those of you who don't know, I'm an educator. So I'm a special education teacher. I was a teacher in New York. So when I came here to Georgia, I already had my job lined up and, you know, my certification. At the time, I had moved here for my then husband, right? His job relocated him. So he was like, yo, let's move, you know, up and move the family to Georgia. And I was game. I was like, yes, let's do it, because I've always wanted to leave New York. But I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I'm scary. It's like, I'm not just the person who's gonna get up and leave. You know, my entire family is in New York. My mom is like literally minutes away. Like if I want to see my mom and dad, I'll just walk to their house, right? My auntie, my grandma, like everybody is so close. Like I can get to them in a cab. So why would I leave? That's it, number one. All right, boom. So we get here. He actually moved to Georgia before me and the kids. So he gets here a year prior. You know, y'all, don't drag me in the comments. I was young and dumb. Like, yeah. So when he got here, he was like, you know, setting up, finding schools for the kids, finding a place for us to live, in addition to working. So when I came down that summer, I came down with my youngest son, who at the time was like a year and a half, because I had just had him a year and a half ago. So my older kids, they stayed in New York for the summer. Like they went to sleepaway camp, and then when, you know, they got back from camp, I would have already been settled, and then school was about to start. It was supposed to be a smooth transition. That's how it worked out in my head, right? So cool. So I moved down here. I have a license, but it's New York. We don't drive anywhere. You don't have to drive if you don't need to. So I never was driving. Alright, so now we're in Georgia, and at the time we were in, you know, Peachtree Corners, close to like Norcross, right? So we leave the city to come because we wanted a house. So right now we're renting a house because we weren't ready yet to buy. So everything is fine, everything is cool. I'm working, he's working, the kids are getting acclimated into like the southern life, all right? So if you're not from the South, y'all wake up hella early. So in New York, high school starts at 9 o'clock. I love my 9 o'clock schedule. However, here in the South, high school starts at 7:10. So I remember interviewing and they telling me like I have to be at work by 6:30 in the morning. And I was like, wait, what? Me? Oh God. Like, so that was something we had to get used to. In addition to that, because he worked in the city at the time, and I worked, you know, close to the house that we were renting. So the kids, my oldest son was in high school at the time, so he came to work with me off rip. My daughter's school was right across the street, but her school didn't start until like 8:30ish. So she would come to work with me, and they had this program like what was it, like Lions Cubs or the Little Lions Den or something like that, because, you know, we were the Lions. So she would go there, and then they had like student teachers who would walk them over to the school. So, you know, not to interrupt the teachers, like we need them in class, so that's fine. My youngest is in daycare, so he would also, so the daycare was maybe not even 10 minutes away. So I used to drop him off at daycare and then make it to school, and then yeah, we all would just, you know, in the after school, I would pick them up, same thing. So now we're doing sports, we're doing cheerleading. So it is a long day. I was up from like 4:30 every morning, and then the day wouldn't end until after 9 o'clock. Alright, so we're gonna fast forward. So that's typically how the day went. Alright, we're gonna fast forward to 2021. Alright, this is after everything was all shut down. Schools were shut down. We were doing everything digitally. We're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Alright, so yeah. So I'm sitting at home one day. It's like a digital day, but it was because of the weather. So in Georgia, y'all have these weather days where nothing's really happening, but because it's like extra cold or something, they will close school. So at the time, me and my ex-husband, we had the same type of phone. So his phone was on the table next to me. I'm thinking it's my phone, but I have it down because, you know, my kids are in different rooms. So I'm in the dining room. I think my daughter's here in my office, and then my son is upstairs in his room or probably in the living room somewhere, because we're all on Zoom. So to like not distract one another and keep each other, you know, give everybody room, we were all spread out throughout the house. All right, and that was fine. Nothing's wrong with that. So while I'm on Zoom with my students, you know, I'm teaching a live lesson. Like, I'm literally on Zoom. A message comes across the phone. So, like, I hear the noise, and I turn it over, but I didn't look at it because, you know, I'm getting them settled, you know, making sure my kids are on task. And then I look over, and it's like a message like, yo, can we cuddle in this weather? So now I'm like, the heck is this? So I open the phone. It's words, but like I said, there's no phone number. Like, the number's not stored. So it's just a number with the words. So, but I'm gonna go through it because, one, I'm the wife, and two, like, we never, in my opinion, so I thought we never had any secrets or anything. Like, my fingerprint works on his phone, his fingerprint works on my phone, you got my socials. Like, it was nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about, so a bitch thought. So I'm now going through the phone, full blown, and I'm reading messages, I'm reading, and I'm trying to process everything as I'm reading, because now I'm like, you know, who is, like, I'm just trying to figure out, like, a name or something. Like, I don't even know what to do with this information. So I'm, like, going through, and then I get to a message that's like, oh, the baby, something. So I'm like, the baby? Y'all, I was like, I could zoom over. I ended class so fast, ran up the stairs, beamed the phone to his dome. Like, yo, you got somebody pregnant? Like, I'm over here doing all this stuff. I'm thinking I'm being the best wife, or the best that I could be. I'm not going to say that I was perfect, because we all know ain't nobody perfect, right? But I'm over here definitely holding it down for the family. All right, so after I beamed the phone to his kufi, he wakes up startled. Oh my God. Oh, what's going on? I'm like, you got somebody pregnant? He's like, what? I'm like, don't you lie to me. Like, I guess he could see in my face, like, yo, I will pounce on you. Like, I'm about to lose my joint. So he's like, yo, yeah, he's getting dressed. Like, what are you talking about? They're still denying it, but getting dressed. When I tell you, he left this house so fast. I don't know what he did. I'm assuming he went to her house or whatever, but his ass leaves the damn phone. So now I pick up the phone and I call, and I'm like, yo, who this? So she was real bold, like, oh, I'm such and such. I'm like, okay, why are you texting my husband? And she was just like, Nicole, oh, so you know who I am, you know he married, you know he have a family, but you're totally okay with this? I said, bitch, I'm beating your ass today. All right, so now I'm like, yeah, I'm beating your ass as soon as your baby drop, because, you know, I ain't grimy. I'm trying to get into heaven still. So I'm like, as soon as this baby drop, I'm beating your ass. So she's like, I always knew this day would come. I'm ready to talk whenever you are. I'll tell you everything. In my mind, I'm like, you are a weird asshole. Like, who does this? I said, oh, so you're comfortable with sleeping with... Well, I didn't know he was married. He was being like, he was like fooling both of us. He was fooling both of us. And in my mind, I'm like, no, bitch, he was fooling me because I am his wife. You made a conscious decision, because once some dude tells me that he's married, I am out. Ain't no way I'm about to play in nobody's married, you know, no married man's face. I won't even give him the time of day. I'm not even gonna look at him sideways. So I'm just like, all right, so let's fast forward to, you know, later on in the day. So he comes back home, And it's like, I am so sorry. Like, all types of apologies, all types of, we're gonna work this out. Like, I never meant to hurt you. I am still in my feelings. I'm still very much hurt. I'm still very much like, I couldn't function. Like, I was just like in such disbelief. I felt like a failure. Like, I took on a lot of basically anything that went wrong. I internalized it like as if it was my problem. I am so sorry. I made the family fall apart. I fucked up the marriage. I didn't do this. I could have did a little bit more. We all know that when dudes cheat, that's their conscious decisions. But I wasn't at that place yet. So we're going to talk about the healing journey. And we're going to talk about, how we started this. So this is right now. It's fresh, whatever. So I still have hope as, a mom, as a wife. Like, okay, we're going to work this out. So what do? I start praying. I said, all right, God, we made this covenant in front of you and our family. What am I supposed to do? You asked me, I already said that I'm this man's, wife. I already said this in front of our children, in front of our families, in front of God, in front of you. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, my hands are tied. I'm like, the Bible says for better or worse. You say for richer or poorer. I'm like, was there like a read between the lines for like kids in there, or if they're, so I'm replaying scriptures in my head and I'm just going back and forth. I am in full blown. Now, I never blame God because I'm like, clearly it's the devil just coming into our marriage trying to mess up a good thing. All right. I'm a church girly. If you hadn't told, yes, I curse a little bit, but just a little tad bit. Don't worry about it. That's me and my relationship with God. So yeah, I curse just a smidge, but don't worry about it. That's my relationship with God. We all working through something, and you working through something. You worry about you, I worry about me. We stay in our lanes. But anyways, so I'm not like, all right, God, not for real. Like, what do you want me to do? Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, I'm out here a billion trillion miles away. I don't have family here. This guy is basically holding down everything. Am I supposed to give him another chance? What am I supposed to do? And I'm praying, and I'm praying, and I ain't getting no answers, y'all. So now I'm like, yo, I really don't know what to do. So while this is going on, I'm trying to go through this whole thing. I'm talking to God. I'm trying to see what's up. This is where it starts getting real funky. So he starts playing these mind games. And I didn't know anything about the term narcissism prior to this. So peep this. So we get a marriage counselor and he's like, yeah, we're going to work on our marriage. We're going to make this work. I did so wrong. So it's at this time that he starts playing these mind games. So he's like, we're going to marriage counseling. We're going to make this work and blah, blah, blah. So we get a marriage counselor. Naturally, we go into sessions or whatever. And we would get into sessions and, if you've ever been to counseling, your counselor's job is not to tell you what to do. They don't tell you anything. They actually just give you the space to express yourself in with, judgment free, very neutral. So it was perfect, right? So we get to the marriage counselor and the marriage counselor tells him very simply, listen, if you want your wife and your family, all you got to do is stop talking to this girl. You have to make the decision. My boy sits in front of the marriage counselor and my face and says, no, I'm not going to do that. So I said, God, my patience is wearing thin. So I'm like, Lord, my patience is running a little thin. I'm over here. I'm still doing the right things. I'm being faithful. I'm doing my part of the bargain. But what type of trash dude did you send me? He wasn't acting like this in New York. He wasn't acting like that. And I forgot to mention this. So we were together for 2 years before we got married. So it's not like I just met this random dude and decided to get married to him and run off into the fucking sunset. Nah, we had some years. We had some trials and fucking tribulations. There were plenty of red flags that I disregarded because at the time, I'm going to be 100% honest with you, I didn't know nothing about red flags. So I'm not going to sit here and act like I knew everything was freaking, rose petals and lilies and everything was perfect. No, it wasn't. But as I got, continued to go through the experience, that's when I got, privy to all of these different terms and what was going on, right? So fast forward back. Again, I'm just now learning about these terms. So moving forward, we back to where we was at, right? So he's like, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. So we would go home and he would, like I said, with the mind games, he would say stuff like, I really want to work this out. I really want to go through this, but I don't know what's wrong with me. Playing on my emotions because, I'm at a heightened emotional state. Not to mention, I didn't tell you guys. So when he had moved to Georgia, remember, I had just given birth. So maybe it was like months later, probably like 6 months, maybe not even 6 months later, he had already left. So I'm going through postpartum depression. I'm going through this move. I'm going through transitioning, like leaving from New York. Like it was just a lot of stuff going on at the time, and it was piling on, and I didn't realize the impact that it was having on me because I'm going through the thick of it. So I'm not seeing anything's wrong. All right, so now I'm here in Georgia, and like I said, everything is piling on top of me to the point where I wouldn't take pictures back then. I wasn't posting anything. I wouldn't take regular family pictures. Like I was just in a really, really dark place, like with myself, because like I said, I started to internalize everything as anything that went wrong was something that went wrong with me, which was unfair, but that's just how shit goes. You learn, you live and you learn, all right? So, if you look at any pictures, and I'll probably put a few in, like my eyes are so much stress, so much trauma I'm going through. My eyes, like my face just looks disfigured. It's not its normal, way that it looks. So, like I said, he would be like, let's fix it. And then on the other hand, he would turn around and be like, yeah, I'm not fixing shit, or I'm not doing anything. Or he would love bomb me, take me out, take me shopping, do all these extravagant things, and then get home. So like when we were home, like he would just be so fucking nasty, talking about something. You look at you like you look. I remember, y'all, I kid you not. He told me like, let's go out to dinner. Let's talk about our problems. Let's talk about how we're gonna fix this because you're not listening to me and you ain't doing this. So I'm like, okay. Because at this time I'm like, all right, so maybe I wasn't doing everything. I'm listening to all the nonsense he's feeding me about why I am the problem and why he was out there cheating. So I was like, okay, cool. So I get dressed and we get ready to go to dinner. Y'all, I come down the stairs. He's like, you expect me to go anywhere with you looking like a fucking whale? When I tell you, I was just like, you ever heard your heart break? Like my heart broke and I was just like crushed. And I'm like hysterically crying. Like I remember like it was yesterday and I was just like, like I thought I looked nice. Like I put effort into this. Like I did my hair. I did everything. Like I'm depressed at this point. It was just like I said, an emotional roller coaster is an understatement. What I was going through, and I still had to go to work, and still had to try and. I had stopped cooking for the kids. I had stopped like doing my homely duties because, like I said, this was heavy on my mind. So now I'm just like, I'm drowning at this point. So. I start, like I said, I'm very, very depressed. But it got to a point where like the back and forth, the nagging, the nice one time, mean the next started taking a toll on me. So what happened? I started to get angry. Like my sleep was already messed up at this time. So I'm up all hours of the night. I'm not sleeping. I'm just delusional at this point. But I remember like waking up in the middle of the night and being angry. Like so angry. Like, y'all. And I'm not proud of this. I do not condone violence. But I was in this house beating this man ass like Helen did Charles when he was disabled, y'all. I would just wake up in the middle of the night and I would be so angry. Like, how dare you treat me like this? How dare you disrespect me? And honestly, I just feel like it was my body telling me like, nah, sis, like, stand up for yourself. Like, God, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like it was the Holy Spirit saying like, this is not what I had for you. This is not the promise I gave you. This is not the covenant I made for you. So him doing this and this and this, that has nothing to do with you. Get yourself together. So I'll be waking up and I'd just be angry and I would start wilding, like blacking out and wilding though. And to the point where it was like the next day he was like, I'm not sleeping with you because you've been fucking me up in my sleep. And I didn't even remember, y'all. So yeah, like I'm going through all this stuff. So I finally get to the point where I'm just like fed up and I'm like, yo, you gotta go. You can't stay in this house. Now, at this time, he wasn't sleeping in my bedroom. Like, he hadn't slept in my bedroom in months. So, he's downstairs in the basement. I'm like, I don't even want you in the basement. Like, I purchased this house. Like, I put my money in this crib. Like, you gotta leave. And he's like, I'm not going anywhere. This is our house. And I had to, you know, remind him with the receipts. Like, nah. Yes, we are married, but don't forget, like, who was holding it down in New York. Don't forget, you know, how things was going on. Like, this is my crib. You need to respect my shit. And you gotta bounce. So he leaves. But then he was. So I'm in therapy at this point in time. So I'm meeting with my therapist and I'm telling her everything that's going on. And I'm telling her, like, you know, it's scaring me because like I said, I don't remember a lot of the stuff that was happening that he was saying that I was doing. So it was like, I was scared because I'm like, you know, am I doing this stuff? Is he just lying? Is he gaslighting? Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. So I'm in therapy working through stuff. And then my therapist gives me a questionnaire. And she's just like, all right, so you it sounds to me like you have PTSD from this. So that explained a lot of like my actions as far as he was triggering me in ways that I didn't even realize what was going on. So every so often I did feel like me blacking out, or I would feel like it was kind of like a light switch, y'all. I can't even explain it. It was just like certain things he was saying and I just knew. It was like, wait, what? All right, so fast forward, I tell him, you know what? I don't want to be with you. Like, we're getting divorced. And it's at this time when I'm like, yo, you know what? I'm still a little skeptical because, yes, I'm in therapy. Yes, I'm working through some things. But I'm not going to lie. So I had a conversation with God. And I heard him loud and clear. And I know some of y'all be sitting there talking about something. The Holy Spirit doesn't talk like that. God doesn't talk like that. I heard loud as fucking clear. And what God told me was, get the fuck up. I did not make this for you. Like, this is not how I wanted your life to go. I never told you to work through disrespect. It's one thing, I feel like marriages can come back from a lot of things, but you can't come back from disrespect. Like, disrespect is just a non-negotiable that you cannot, in addition to bonus babies and shit like that. So, and I'm sorry, I can't even give y'all like dates or like, I can't even tell y'all months or whatever of when this stuff happened, because while this stuff was going on, you know, life was still lifing. So, like I said, that happened in 2021. But also in 2021, I wound up losing my brother. Like, my brother was overseas in the service at the time. And he passed away. Like, he got in a really bad car accident and passed away. So I remember we were in Miami at the time checking up on his son, his oldest son that was in college. And while we're there, like, I just remember being so sad. Like, I'm crying nonstop to the point where I'm crying in my sleep because I'm like, oh my God, like, you know, I just lost my brother. He wakes me up and he's like, you're crying like you was fucking a nigga or something. Like, he was just real jealous of the fact that I was grieving over my brother, which made me feel some type of way. So now I am crying, but I'm like trying to hold it in, you know, like. So yeah, I was just going, like I said, just going through it. And I didn't even have the space, or, you know, I wasn't even allowed to like grieve or process my feelings at all during this ordeal. So I held a lot of stuff in. And then I think that also had to do with the fact that like my body was changing, my skin was changing, my sleep is fucked up. I have PTSD, like all of this stuff. Like I said, like, this is how women end up on Snap. Like, this is how like stuff be crumbling right before them, and you do the best that you possibly can, and it's just like your best is still not good enough. So I was just in a really, really low point in life, and I didn't take on any like drugs or anything, but I stopped taking care of myself. Like, literally, it was like days. I wouldn't get up for days. Like, I'm just laying in the bed like a zombie, and I just was not happy. Like, I just wasn't myself. Another deciding factor too, I didn't tell y'all. So while he was still in the house, like, again, it was just like weird stuff going on with the girl and her family, like her mom. So one day a message pops up too, and it's from another number, and it's just like, you know, like, what do you want for dinner or whatever. So apparently he's over there telling these people that I don't cook, I don't clean, I don't take care of the kids, I'm lazy, I sit around all day. And it was just like amazing to me. I'm like, how don't I do all these things, but you're failing to tell them, like, you know. But she also gets up at 4:30 in the morning, takes care of all 3 kids, also checks on my kids who don't even live with us, also make sure that, you know, her family, my family, everybody in New York is taken care of. Like, you're leaving out all these points. Or the fact that I'm cooking for you, you're pre-diabetic, the doctor's saying that your health is declining, so I'm fixing up your diet so that you won't, you know, die. But it got translated to me. So y'all, while the girl mother was cooking for my ex-husband, and I definitely called the number back because I was like, well, who the fuck is this now? Like, I'm thinking it's another woman, y'all. So I call and some dude picks up the phone. I'm guessing it's her brother or whatever. So I'm like, you know, can I speak to, I forgot the lady name, but whatever her name is, Miss Jenkins, let's just call her that, right? So Miss Jenkins, and he like, oh, who's this? And I was like, tell her it's Shirley from the church. Why the hell he gave her the phone? She like, what up, Cheryl? I said, bitch, why are you cooking for a married man? Like, I'm about to pull up and run up to your church and tell your pastor, like, is this what you raising over here? Is this, what part of the Bible was this in? Why the girl gonna call me now talking about something, go find something safe to do, you doing too much, and I'm like, bitch, I have nothing to say to you, because if you want to pull up, you can pull up at any time, honey. But I know you don't want these problems, because the way I was feeling, I definitely would have been in an orange jumpsuit. Thank the Lord that I am saved and he kept me covered, because... So anyway, God is good, and we all agree on that. So we left her right where she was standing. We ain't had no conversations after that. But I just thought that shit was weird as fuck, because I'm like, whose mom just cooks for a married, whatever. We gonna leave them alone because they got their own shit to worry about, right? So now I'm telling him, like, yeah, we're getting divorced. I'm filing for divorce. We ain't gonna be together. Now, why my guy wants to quote scriptures to me talking about something, well, we're married in front of God. I said, you know what? We was married in front of God before you was cheating too. Look how that turned out. Like, don't you sit up here and talk about somehow I'm gonna be a disgrace to the family because I'm getting a divorce and da da da. I was like, yeah, these mind games is not mine in right now. Like, I don't give 2 fucks. Like, a bitch about to be single. Like, I'm leaving you right where you at. The way you want it, I said, you want it to be outside, you want it to be for everybody, you can go right ahead. Now my boy is crying, talking about somehow he don't want to fucking leave. And I said, well, why the fuck would you want to stay after I don't do all this, you know, I was doing all this stuff to you and I don't help out. So now I'm just confused. Like, you claim I was this, and this, and you ain't like this, and this is why you cheated, and this is why you did that. So I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, cool. If I'm doing all this stuff to you, then let me set you free so you could go find your true love. And yeah, like, I made my decision. And one thing I'm really, really happy about, like, it was hard as fuck, I'm not gonna lie to you, because there would be times where I'm like questioning, like, you know, did I do the right thing? Was that the right thing for me to do? That ain't nothing but the devil who was trying to come into my mind saying, like, you know, put doubt in there. Like, no, like, go back to that angry place. Go back to that, you know, because I was spiraling, y'all. When I tell you I was spiraling, like, I was a fucking tornado, and I was hitting the ground fast, like, and I feel like I really would have been in trouble, like, gotten some shit that I could not have gotten out of. So I truly thank God for that, because like I said, it was just a very hard time in my life. So yeah. So I find a lawyer, I work up the courage to, like, do all the paperwork on my end, file everything. Guess who does not want to sign the paperwork? Guess who's like, yeah, I'm not signing anything. Like, we're gonna stay married because you can't divorce me without my signature, and So I filed for divorce. Like I said, this is early 2021 too, so I can't remember the month, but I know I filed extremely early, and I know my divorce did not finalize until October of 2022. So yeah, and it was over a year, so yeah. And then Georgia also has this thing, like, when you get divorced in Georgia, if you have kids with the person, you got to take this parenting class and all of that stuff. So I'm doing my due diligence. I'm taking the parenting class. I'm trying to make everything go as smooth as possible. Guess who's not signing up for the class? Guess who's not doing this, not doing anything they require? I damn near had to walk him through it. Like, listen, I don't want you to be in trouble. Like, I don't want you to have no, you know, be in contempt of the court because you're not abiding by their rules. So just sign the paper, just go to the class, just do this. But it took me, like, I had to play so nice just to get my desired outcome, because my son was not trying to get through this. Like, it was so crazy. And after, like I said, like after all that trauma, like, this had been going on. So we started dating in 2017. No, I'm lying. 2017 is when we got married. So 2015, so we started dating in 2015. Like I said, 2015, no issues, we was good. 2016, no issues. It really started after we got married. After we got married, it was just like, mask off. Like, he just didn't care. Like, he was just like, yep, I could be my true self because I got you in my grass and you're not going anywhere. So that is the story how I ended up in Georgia from New York City. Will I move back home to New York? No. Like, I love Georgia. I'm not gonna lie. Like, this is home now. Y'all know I bought this house. Like, I worked for this house. Like, God blessed me with this house. So it's mine, and I feel like he strategically put me here. At the time, I didn't see the big picture. But, you know, after I was coming out of the fog, I started seeing certain things and realizing certain things about the house, certain things about myself. And I'm still learning and you know, growing to love myself again. But I'm just really grateful that I had the opportunity to share my experience with you guys. And then also tell you, like, if you're going through something similar, or if you know somebody who went through something, like, you're not alone. Like, there's so many people who went through the same thing, and it seems difficult, but you will get through it. You are loved. Even if I don't know you, I promise. As women, we take on so much and we internalize so much, and we go through so much. And don't let us be black women. Like, black women, we go through the absolute, like, everything. We go through everything, and we're expected to just pick ourselves up, and the shit is fucking hard. But if we can just help one another out, like, share our story, share what we went through. And, you know, we got the opportunity just to look back and see, like, yo, we had so much growth since then. Like, y'all, from when I filed from divorce to now, from when the divorce finalized in 2022 to now, like, I have grown so much. Like, I am loving the person I'm becoming. I'm loving the person that I'm healing and fixing myself up for like the true husband that God has for me. So, and I love that for me, and I love that for you, and I love that for anybody who's going through anything like this. So thank you for watching. I love y'all so much. Be sure that you like and share this video. Also, be sure that you smash that subscribe button and click the bell for notifications so you don't miss any more story times like this and anything that I have moving forward. I truly, truly love you for watching, and thank you for coming to my channel. Oh, also, I'm going to have new videos are posted every Sunday, all right? So Sundays at 3 is typically when I post my video. So I hope to see you there. I love you guys. Bye.